people. It's Elena Bartosh, your real estate investor. Today, my co-living conversation should be really cool because my guest is one of their once sub leaders, Chino Mante. Chino lives and works in Las Vegas, and he has massive experience with different living strategies. So, welcome, Chino. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you, Elena. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for your time and thank you for agreeing to be my guest today. I'm really proud to have you here, and I know a couple of people were waiting for this live because of your experience and all you're doing. Okay, so Chino, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself? So who is Chino Mante?
Who is Chino Mante? A simple man who lives in Las Vegas that works basically 48 hours a day, 14 days a week.
You have huge week. Okay, and what kind of please don't forget today our main topic is co-living, right? And everyone understands that the co-living is massive topic, and different people implement it own way. And the purpose
Yes.
of my lives is to introduce different people who are related to co-living, and especially if we speaking with investors like you, Chino. So what kind of strategy you implement, how you started, and I will have a bunch of questions. So tell me please a little bit, what are your main strategies in co-living?
So the obvious, which is creative finance, I learned that from my mentor, Pace Morby, who created the Sub2 community, as well as in Gator, there's another community of his, and Owners Club as well, right? So everything that I learned as far as creative finance comes from Pace Morby. Shout out Pace. Um, Everything that I learned as far as mindset comes from him. He doesn't talk a
Mhm.
lot about mindset, but I know it's a different type of mindset. And everything that I learned as far as the moral compass or the morale compass is from him. The one thing that the very first thing that I learned from Pace when I joined the community wasn't about creative finance. It wasn't
Mhm.
about real estate. It was about family culture. So
Yeah.
everything else is a bonus. I acquire properties creatively using subject to seller finance or a little bit of both. There is a thing called hybrid. There's hybrid and there's Chino grid. Okay. And
Cool.
I will always leave my mark, my trademark for everything that I do. So co-living, you asked about co-living. Okay. That is exactly that what I've been doing even before I joined Sub2. I just never had a name for it. So now there's a huge midterm rental type of strategy that's very similar to bread and breakfast, but it's
Mhm.
a little different. Not gonna say no name because I don't want to get sued. However, what I do is Chino split. So Chino
Mhm.
split, it is actually not per bedroom. We do have some per bedrooms, but for the most part, it is per bed. So we
Mhm.
could have two beds in one room, sometimes three. Just really depends on the size of the room, right? Of course, it has to meet fire codes and everything else. That's why sober living is one of them.
Mhm. Awesome. Awesome. What are they you mentioned previously that sober living is only one of your strategies. What are other strategies you do implement?
Sure. So I have multiple properties across the valley here in Las Vegas. By the way, today is May 5th, so there's Cinco de Mayo and there's Chino de Mayo. And I joke that around, on my social media. If you look at my stories, that's right there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, there's Cinco de Mayo and there's Chino de Mayo. Today is Chino de Mayo. So,
Congratulations. 5 years.
thank
Oh
you.
my gosh, it's a lot.
Right. Okay, so I have multiple independent living homes properties here in Las Vegas. I own that with business partners. I also have some, most of my properties I own that by myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
This in particular, I own this with a business partner that I brought in. So I have all male, all female, co-eds, veteran homes, sobriety home all male, sobriety home all female, and then I also have parolee homes. So parolee home all male, parolee home all female, etc. And then now we're dabbling into the assisted living home aspect of it, right? Or it could be a group home, because the ones that I mentioned previously is not group home. In the medical world, a group home needs assistance.
Mm-hmm.
All my houses do not need assistance. So they're completely independent. So that's what I have as far as strategies.
Beautiful. Thank you, China. Guys, for those who watching us right now, please let me remind you. So right after we will be done with this live session with Chino, we will jump to Zoom for Q&A sessions. So if you will still have any questions to Chino, please welcome to join us. Right after this live will be done, I'm going to post link to Zoom right here. And all you will need to do, just close my YouTube, click this link, and join us in the Zoom. Thank you so much, Gloria. Chino, we have first comment from our audience. Gloria, my friend, she posted, I waited whole day. Cool, thank you, Gloria. I believe so. We will give you a lot of value, especially, of course, Chino. You see, he has massive experience. So, okay, Chino, let's do. We can let's open up one of your strategies. Which one would you like to discuss today?
So hold on, which Gloria is this?
Gloria Ganchola. She is in
Oh, okay. I
step
love
two,
Gloria.
just
Hi,
like us.
Gloria. I
I
love,
love
love,
her
love
too.
Gloria. I cannot wait to try her empanadas.
Did you guys meet already in person somehow?
Yes, we're very good friends. Before we even met in person, Gloria and I, we already became friends.
It's awesome. It's beautiful. Yeah, this is the beauty of Satu community. People became to
That's
be
right.
friends very easy because we all
Yeah,
united of one idea to build something useful, to build our wealth, and to give some value to our community, to each other. Cool.
yeah.
So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And Chino, please decide for yourself what is your favorite strategy or what you would like to start with, and let's
Sure.
open it up.
All right. So everything that I mentioned, they all like interconnect, right? So everything that I do, I also do it for different demographics, right? We start
Okay.
off with family culture. Family culture is very important to me because this is what I learned from Pace. That's the number one lesson that I learned from him. Family culture.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot create something without family culture, because otherwise it's just like everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just like what I learned from Pace, sub two is now your family, right? You may, encounter some people that you may not like, but for the most part, hey, everyone is very family oriented. Okay, that's what I love about our community. I apply
Mm-hmm.
that in all of my houses. And let's say, let's talk about veterans. Okay, so I have a very special place in my heart for our veterans, right? Because once upon a time, when I was young, I wanted to join the army, right? And my mom stopped me because I was underage. She's like, "No, you're not joining the
Mm-hmm.
army." I'm like, "Okay." But now that I'm older, I make more money. I prioritize. We help anyone and everyone. Don't get me wrong. Okay, we house anyone and everyone. We help anyone and everyone.
Mm-hmm.
However, from my experience, and this is just my experience, I do not care what others have experienced. They can keep their comments to themselves. Okay, this is my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Demographic that has it the worst are the veterans. Again, from my experience, okay, I have done this for years. It's not the single mom. It's, of course they need help, and I help them as well, right? It's not the the
Mm-hmm.
victims, it's the veterans that have it the worst. Why? Again, from my experience, okay? Because you're gonna have people that's gonna watch this 5 years from now. Well, that's not true. Because no, listen to me. This isn't about you. This is about something from my experience that I'm sharing with the world, and how
Mm-hmm.
I'm helping everyone, anyone and everyone. So with the veterans, they come out of service already with PTSD, okay, for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've already gone through a lot of things, right? Like the
Yeah.
training, right? Everything that they've gone through, right? You can only imagine. I have helped hundreds of veterans getting them out of homelessness. Again, I help anyone and everyone. I have to keep emphasizing that because I don't want people to think that I'm biased. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've helped and I still help homeless families and I house homeless families. And I'm very passionate about this because all of my people that I help have been homeless or were about to be homeless
Mm-hmm.
and or chronically homeless.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. It's
Okay.
you should be very strong helping all these people because you may deal with different situations all the time, and I can imagine mentally you should be very strong. And everyone actually who wants to step into co-living strategy, any strategy that Chino you implement, I believe everyone should be prepared to be really strong with different situations, right?
Yeah. No, 1,000%. Right. Because like so dealing with different personalities and very high strung personalities,
Yeah.
it's not really what you do for them, it's how you make them feel at the end of the day. Okay.
Yep.
So remember when I said about family culture? When
Absolutely. Yep.
you're when you're a veteran and then you've already served our country for however many years, you've
Mm-hmm.
dedicated your life, to protect our country, to serve our country.
Yep.
It's the same thing for them. Once they get discharged, whether if it is honorable, dishonorable, or other than honorable, what it is you're taking them away from something very important. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
here's what that is. When you're
Yep.
homeless, you lose a very important connection, and that is family. Okay.
Yep.
They either abandon you, you abandon them, or they die on you. And
Yep.
it goes the same for our veterans, except our veterans, they call it unit. You
Mm-hmm.
pull them out of their unit, right? Once you get released, once you get discharged from the service,
Okay. Yeah.
you combine that with PTSD, that turns into depression. I'm not a doctor, okay? To anyone that's watching this, I'm not a medical professional. This is based on my experience, and I'm sharing this with everyone. So do not try to shoot me down for what I've gone through, from what I've witnessed, from serving hundreds and hundreds, close to thousands
Yeah.
of homeless people. This is my observation, and I'm entitled to this, okay? When you're dealing with them and dealing with a lot of mental challenges, you have to be able to humanize that conversation. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot just systemize people because we've tried. We've tried systemizing people and it didn't work, right? It's called the projects,
Mm-hmm.
right? Placing people in poverty in a multifamily building like apartment. This isn't me shooting down multifamily investors, okay? Again, this is my opinion, all right? I do not believe in placing anyone, whether they're veterans or civilians, that you take them out of their tent and then placing them in a building right next to their tent.
Mm-hmm.
The very first thing they have access to is drugs. It doesn't help them in any way or form. So that's why my properties, as you can see, this property right here is one of them. This is actually about 12 minutes away from the VA hospital. And we take pride in our property and how we house our people, right? Remember when I said family culture is everything? Okay, and I'm using our veteran as an example.
Mhm.
We don't call our people renters. We don't call them clients. We do not call them patients, right? We call them family members.
Cool.
It is important because it's that one connection that everyone is longing for once they become homeless, right? Sobriety, sobriety is not the answer that is not the answer to addiction.
Mhm.
Sobriety is not the answer to addiction. Connection is the answer to addiction
Yep.
because homelessness, and not all homeless people, okay, are addicted to drugs or alcohol. I've met so many people that don't even like to use. They're just homeless because they're down on their luck, right?
Yep.
I understand we may have some audience who say, well, people, choose to be homeless. Yeah, sure, some, but not all of them, right? Before we
Mhm.
judge individual, especially our veterans, please go out there and serve them. Okay, go out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Chino, I agree with you 1,000,000%. So for me, it sounds like you combine sober houses and VA houses. I mean, veterans houses. Correct?
Correct.
You do one, two in one. Okay.
Correct.
Great. So let's open up a little bit for investors, for example. If someone wants to start sober houses, what they need to know for the beginning, what kind of organizations, maybe state, maybe federal organizations, investor should contact with, what kind of documentation we need to collect, what do we need any specific license, do we need any specific legal permits, how it looks like from the legal perspective.
Okay. All of your questions don't matter if you do not know how to serve the less fortunate. Again, systemizing people do not work. You need to be able to humanize conversations. Go spend time with them. As simple as giving them a bottle of water, as simple as giving them a sandwich, right? So I've been packing sandwiches and handing them out with bottled water since 2017. That right there, I hand out to them. Whenever I do it by myself, I do this all day long. And then at night, I hand out sleeping bags, care packs, blankets, whatever they need, bottled water, and some snacks. You need to understand how to serve them before you can even create systems. The whole documents, what agency to work with, those things do not matter. If you do not know how to humanize conversations or connect with them, if you do not lead with compassion, if you do not lead with your heart, if you do not serve wholeheartedly, you will fail at doing this. Let me repeat that. If you do not serve the less fortunate wholeheartedly, you will fail because now you're just looking at the
Yeah,
dollar sign. So I
I
highly
agree with you.
suggest that you
Mhm.
serve out there. Don't give them money, give them resources, give them food, give them blanket, sit down right next to them, understand the pain. Don't ask why they're homeless. You should never ask that. Treat them like a human
Yeah.
being. Once you do that, everything just falls into place. And a lot of our friends who are overthinkers, they still want to know what are the next steps. If you don't even understand what step one is, which is to humanize that conversation and spend the whole day with them, then this is not for you. You're not
Yeah,
going to
China,
thrive.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with you. But we are still here to see at your business and your experience from different perspectives, and it's actually very valuable. Uh, what you just shared with us. Everything starts with human relationship, with understanding of this. Of everyone is human. Everyone deserves to have shelter. Deserves to have human attitude. Yeah, it's great. So what should be next step for whoever who decided he or she wants to help these people, he really wants to give them hand, and he really
Sure.
wants to give them roof overhead. So what should be our next step?
So, Elena, you have to meet them where they're at.
Okay.
Stop thinking what the next steps are, right? You wanted me to be here to teach everyone exactly how I do things. If they don't even understand what step one is, then the next steps do not even matter, right?
Yeah, I got it. I got it. But we still have to do all steps. So
No,
the
there
purpose of
isn't.
our
Because,
conversation is to support everyone.
Elena, listen to me, and I want you to understand this. Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have.
Okay, let's paint a scenario. Let's say one of your siblings fall into substance abuse, right? They become addicted, right? Whether if it's alcohol or
Horrible.
anything, right? And then that eats them away, okay? Then they become homeless. What do you think you should do?
You know, Chino, actually, personally, me, I'm dealing with this issue in my family. And I have family member who is not homeless, but who is dealing with, I would say, not easy situation, but he is very far from me. And I'm dealing with this situation. So I know not only from you, not from other people. That is why I would like someone back in my country right now be able to maybe to give him help, maybe to give him hand right now. And I would really be happy if someone would know what actual steps they can do to build this site, such a wonderful communities just like you do, to give them
Okay,
practical help.
okay,
So I
Elena,
am not someone who is just from other universe. I'm
sure.
dealing with this.
And the reason why I said, let's say that, one of your family members is like that, because
Yep.
I know everyone knows somebody one way or another, right? So I'm trying to have this humanized experience with you, right? What would you do if you were in that situation, that you were the one that's going to help, right? Wouldn't you want to sit down right next to them and just have that humanized conversation? Okay. Why would you jump to housing them right away? What if they're not ready, right? Because they have trust issues. You have to blow through those barriers first before you can even house them. It's kind of like cold calling, right? When we like, as we're investors, okay? Cold calling. Let's say we do acquisitions and they say KPI, key performance indicator. Like, you must call 100 homeowners before you can get one lead, right? Whatever the numbers are, right? It's the same thing with this, except that you're not going to be calling 100 people. You're going to have a one-on-one, heart-to-heart conversation with the individual. If this was your family member, you would not rush. KPI is out the door. You would listen to them intently because you naturally care for them, because now this is your blood family. This is your relative. Am I right? That
Of
means
course.
the minutes, the hours on your clock go out the door, right? You want to know, let's say if that was my brother, let's just say that, okay? I would want to clear all my schedule out to help out my brother. But also, I need to know if he's ready without asking him if he's ready. Does that make sense? Because what if he's not ready to
I
get house
agree.
yet?
I agree.
All
Yeah.
right. What if he's not ready to get house yet? What's gonna happen then is me forcing myself into his mindset to house him in one of my beautiful properties. How do you think that's going to end up? Not great.
Yeah, I just, chin up. Just I'm trying to combine everything. The
Yeah.
purpose of this conversation, first of foremost, to help different people who want to help other
Right.
people.
And yeah, this is helping them.
Yeah.
Because okay, let me give you a story. When I just joined the community, I shared this, my strategy, the step by step, right? I shared this with over 10 investors. Every single one came back to me and said, Chino, you didn't tell me that they could go back to drugs. Chino, you didn't tell me that they could not pay the rent sometimes. Well, Chino, you didn't tell me that they could have mental challenges.
Yep, it can happen.
Right. And the reason why that happened to them, because they did not take the time to get to know the individual. Just like the sellers, if we do not take the time to get to know them and know exactly what they're going through, we're gonna blow through the KPI numbers. This is how I'm helping people through your YouTube channel. If they don't know how to humanize that conversation, they will not succeed. I can give them the blueprint. Have them call me. Call me between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. Pacific time only. I'll give you my blueprints, but I can guarantee you, you will fail. If you do not know how to connect with them on a humanized level, that you're not just thinking about, okay, how many people can I fit in one house so that I can make a ton of money? Elena, nobody wants to admit it, okay, especially on social media, that they're just thinking about numbers, because everyone wants to make money. Every single person that I helped with that blueprint that I gave them, they all came back and complained. This isn't for me. How come you didn't tell me that this could happen? I'm like, bro, I told you. You are housing homeless people with mental challenges. I told you that they could be using drugs or alcohol. Well, I didn't know that they could go back to it. I'm like, what do you mean? You're dealing with a human being. It
Of course.
happens with regular tenants, people that have never been homeless. What makes you think that it's not going to happen back to them? Do you
Okay,
see what
that
I'm
is why
saying?
we are here to understand how we can help these people, what we
Yeah,
can do from our side to help them. Yep.
the
And I
intent to serve.
suppose our audience today is mostly
Sure.
investors who decided they want to jump into co-living, and some from people who watching us right now and who will be watching us in the future, because this video will stay on my YouTube channel. Some of them, they will decide to jump into sober living, to veterans house. Yeah, we all should be prepared. It's not easy business.
Yeah. Because what's going to happen,
Absolutely,
Elena,
it's human.
once they serve, right, they house them.
Mhm.
There's an echo in the back.
Yeah, do you hear me now? Now?
No, no, there's an echo.
Okay, you know what, guys? Let's jump right now in Q&A session, and I hope,
Sure.
because maybe something wrong with StreamYard today. Let me post link again. So right now, link goes to chat. And Chino, I will remind you link on Facebook. Please, let's jump from here to Zoom, and I hope it will be better.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, guys. See you in 1 minute in Zoom. I just posted.